Hi, it's Russ from Tools Expert, and I've got myself a copy of the new API Vision channel strip from the guys over at Universal Audio. Now, it has two functions. For Apollo users, it means you can now track through this, which is fantastic. And also for those that are using it in other DAWs, it also means outside of Apollo, it also means that you can use it on tracks for mixing as well. So, as I say, for an Apollo user, you've got this beautiful analog emulation now of the API console, broken into different components. We're going to look at them in some detail, do use show and tell, and then you can have a listen to some of the stuff I've been doing with it. Starting top to bottom, left to right, we have the gain stage. It's a mic pre. It's pretty self-explanatory. You have the input gain there. You have a pad there, minus 20 dB, a phase switch, and a VU to tell you the output, not the input, the output gain of that. And so you could just use the mic pre if you want. The mic pre has a character of its own, and you can put that across a channel and just use that without anything else. So the great thing about this is you can switch stuff in and out. So you've got filters here, and the gate and expander has an on and off. So all of these. So it's got kind of almost like a 500 series rack at the same time. So first to say we have the gain and the mic pre, and then we move down to the filters. Filters are very, very useful in mixing, and I mentioned in a recent video that I know some mix engineers that a lot of their mixing is just filtering. And so we have a low pass and a high pass filter, which you simply can apply. Then we have the sidechain button, which means that you can use these filters instead of filtering. You can use them as side chains either on the 235 or the 225, and that's in parallel. So it would go into here, then into there, and then into there, and it would use that as a filter. Very useful. For example, let's say that you want to gate something out. You can use the filters to go in there by using the side chaining, or if you want to comp something, but for example, you don't want the bottom end of a kick drum to be comping a snare in a loop, you could use the filters to do that. So some great applications there. So let's move up to the gate expander, known as one of the fastest gates around. It sounds like a Western. All the usual suspects there. We have a threshold, and then a depth, and then we have the release or hold time, depending on what position you've got this in. So it works as an expander and a gate, and then we have these three buttons here that give us some extra detail. So we say threshold, depth, and release or hold time. Then we have fast or normal attack time. We have an expander gate choice, and then we have a gate hold or release, and that only works in certain situations. If you put an expander, it will only work in that. So if we go back to this to release, we put that back up there to expander, and then we try and put that in, it won't work. So it only has to say one setting. And as you see, as we move it back to expander, it turns itself back off again. Then we have the 225 compressor limiter, which gives us again threshold, ratio, release time. Then we have the type of sidechain that it's working in. Is it working in feed forward or feedback mode? So you're given both options there to select from when you're using the sidechaining option. Then you have the 550 EQ, which is notched rather than simply something that slides around any. So you notch between the settings there, as you could see. So on the outside, we have the gain or reduction, and then we have the choice of frequency on the inside. So cut and boost there, and then we have the frequency there. And then as you can see, we have shelving or peak buttons for both low and high. So again, we have sidechain here where we can use the EQ as a sidechain filter. And then also down here as well, we have the pre or post dynamic for the EQ filter. Now the question is often asked, I get this question asked a lot, when should you use a EQ? Is it before or after a compressor? Well, the choice is yours, there's no rules. And so some people prefer to use them after the compressor and some before. And I'm on a bass here, so I'm actually using it before the compressor. So any EQ changes here in the bass are then reflected in the compression that takes place. But you can switch between those and try them. And then we have the final module, which is the output module, where you can change the gain. Sidechain linking is for when you're using it in stereo mode. So if we use it on, for example, I've got the toms here. Then I've got a sidechain link to make sure that the two sides are linked as they would be. So let's have a listen to it now. I've got a track here. It's, again, a homage to something that's been very popular during the summer. So I've got a drum kit, a bass, some keys, and a guitar. And I've got the API working on everything but the keys. For example, let me show you the kit first. We'll just mute these three out. So just take it off. Put it on now. Now the presets are really good. We've got some great ones in here from some top producers. It's worth checking them out. The Neil Dorfman stuff, there's some really great stuff in there, but all of them are really, really good. And as you can see, as I'm going through them, I've chosen one there for the overheads and stuff. And a great starting point when you are mixing with this. Kick drum, let me show you on the kick drum what I've done. There's the original kick. Now this is the Simon Phillips drum sounds and drum loops from Loop Loft that are just well recorded. And of course the playing is excellent. It's Simon Phillips playing these drums. So what I've done there, I've cleaned up that kick drum. You can hear the gate, it's really nice. Very fast. I've also used the sweep filter here. Little clicky for me, so I've just taken a bit of the top end out and also rolled a bit of the bottom end out as well, so it's not too rumbly down there. It's a nice big kick drum. There's some compression there. And the EQ. Just some body in that kick. Let's go to the snare now. Now this may sound odd on its own because I haven't got the room in, but I'm just really cleaning that snare up. There's a bit of ring on that snare that I just wanted to reduce a bit. You can hear it ringing away if I shut up for a minute. So I want to get a real snap on that snare that when you add it then back in with the toms as well. Just clean that up again. And the hi-hats. Now the hi-hats here, this is a really good demonstration of the 235 gate. You can hear all that room in there, and I'm just really trying to use some of this, in particular the 235, just to clean stuff up. Bring that high pass down. Put some body back in. That's on. And this is where the depth helps, because we pull that depth back up again. So I didn't want to lose all the nuances of that hi-hat, but at the same time I wanted to clean it. A bit too peaky on the top there. So as I say, that gate is doing a lovely, lovely job. The room. Very fast, very gentle compression there. Just kissing it. And again, sweeps in there. We can use those to get a really kind of vintage sound there if you want. No gate this time because I don't want a stuttering gate on that room. Don't want to start doing weird stuff. This time we've got the filter working pre-dynamics as well. Let's post. And let's go to the overheads now. And again, just a little bit of stuff here, not too much. A little bit of the filter, top and bottom. Just don't want everything splashing around in this. There's a bit of reverb on this mix as well, so I want it to be nice and still want the top end in those, but I don't want it to splash or too low because that's coming from other instruments anyway. There's the original. So we just thinned it up a bit. We could do a little more compression there. just to tighten that whole thing up. So let's hear that kit together now. So here's the original. And obviously I'd spend some more time then just getting all that balance right again. It has that lovely analog sound to it. So the bass guitar. Now this is off a sampler, just a very quick bass part I played in. There's the original. Mainly compression going on here, quite heavily compressed. So as I say, I'm using the pre-dynamic mode for this. It's partly because I don't want the bottom end to get away from us, but I want some bass in there. But at the same time, I want it to sit nicely in the mix. So we just want to level that out a bit. Then I've got a guitar as well. Let's solo that. So there's the original. This clean chord electric in the presets is really, really, really nice. Bit of compression there. Now I've put the gate in as well, just to try and tidy up some of the notes at the back of my playing there. Then the sweep filters in. Could bring that slightly higher. But I want to try and get some of the bottom end, that compression from the original track guitar is in there. You can hear it. Notwithstanding, there's some volume changes going on here when we obviously add compression and stuff into this. So here's the original tonal sound. And then let's put the APIs in. So as you can see, very, very nice. Does the world need another channel strip? None of it's a channel strip that's just kind of got no character to it, but this is not just any channel strip. This has got a serious amount of character in it. It's typically Universal Audio because they've obviously concentrated on finding stuff that's vintage and has beautiful sound to it, and they've done a fantastic job of it. Having it in this entire package here is a really great idea. And if you're a Apollo user, then I'd be tracking through this all the time. I'd be tracking, as I say, everything through it, basically. So a really, really great job. Worth checking out if you have a UAD card or you're an Apollo user. Download the demo. Try it on some of your mixes. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.